you ever passed the corner of 4th and Grand where a little ball of...
Here's one of several figure sets I'll have to purchase for my SAG's Dio. It's the German Patrol by ICM. The front illustration shows two German Feldgendarme, an officer and a boy who's shining his shoes. The background picture looks like this was a scene in Poland. The two short sides show the front box art again. On one long side we find illustrations of the figures. The other side gives information on the contents and states that this is not a toy.
It's a wonder that the rag don't tear the way he makes it pop.
This is what I found when I opened the box. The sprue was cut in halves. I'm not a big fan of that because, as you can see, one body already came off the sprue. And you'll see another minor problem later in this video. Let's start with the first part of the sprue. It contains the parts for the boy and the officer.
He pops the boogie woogie rag, the Chattanoogie shoe shine boy.
Cap, hat and body of the boy look nice and crisp. It only depends on the individual painting skills to make this a great figure.
Don't that tickle you?
Arms and legs look nice too. He's holding a brush and a rag or two brushes in his hands. I wasn't able to make it out properly. This is a nice touch. One sock is rolled down. Things like that add life to a figure. Then we have the suitcase the boy is sitting on. And here's a can of shoe polish for the Polish shoe shine boy. The small foot bench comes in 3 parts and looks quite nice, although the wood grain isn't very pronounced.
Just listen to him fan the air. Here goes.
The parts seen from the backside. Everything's almost flawless. As you can see, there's only the minimum of a seam line.
Everybody gets a little rise and shine.
Here we have the parts for the officer.
He pops the boogie woogie rag.
The folds on his trousers are nicely done. Again, not too much of a seam line to remove.
The Chattanoogie shoe shine boy.
The details on his uniform are crisp and will look nice after painting. The same goes for his cap. And look at his face. This is as nice as styrene can get. I hope I won't damage his ears too much when I remove the seam line. And while I was really excited about his face, I came across his left hand. To make it look good, I'd have to carve the fingers out of this lump. Well, according to the front illustration, he's at least a major. Maybe I'll paint his hands as if he wore gloves. That should hide the worst bits. The second half of the sprue contains the parts for the 2 military policemen. The tin shields look really nice. The chain around the neck is as close to the actual one as possible. These chains are the reason for the moniker Kettenhunde. It gives us a clue of how regular soldiers thought of them. Again, the folds are nicely done. This flap on the pocket looks the way it does when the pocket is full of stuff. The seam lines are rather faint, but not all folds on both halves correspond. A bit of work with some round and triangular files. And seen from the backside. Scraping off these seam lines would be a rather nice job because there isn't too much to do. And here we see the left arm of the military policeman with a marker. The end of the stem is molded into his hand. And while these guys were ready to shoot at any German soldier for the smallest reason, he's smoking while being on duty. The arms of the other Kettenhund. The hands don't look too bad. His right hand will need some work because he's holding the gun sling. His face looks really nice, but I'll remove the helmet strap. I don't like painting them when they're molded on, so I'll build a new strap from scratch that I'll paint before gluing into place. And here we have the head of the second guy. I was desperately looking for this part, and this is a problem I talked about earlier on. By cutting the sprue in 2, the head was on the half with the boy and the officer. Fortunately, there's a sprue map included, so I found the head in the end. I could have taken a new pic, but I wanted to show you this. Believe me when I say that his face looks nice too. And now let's take a look at the accessories. The helmets have these screw gates that require some care when cutting them off. The shape is nice and there's nothing to complain about. The 19.8Ks are nice and crisp. With a gun strap added from scratch, they look very good. ICM did a very good job on sculpting them. The canteen looks very good too. All details are represented here, so I won't go crazy and make a new strap. When I was with the Bundeswehr in the 1980s, we still had the same torches. They have clear, red and green glasses you can actuate with switches. The ammo pouches are very small and I guess they look okay for the size. Last parts to look at are the daggers. There isn't much to say about them. They look the business. A small instruction sheet comes along with the kit. The front shows the sprue map and the color callout. The color callout only lists Model Master paints, but the names of the paints are there, so you'll be able to use the colors of your favorite brand. The back of the instructions show the part numbers and the colors to use. For building the figures they aren't really necessary, but the painting guide is a nice thing to have. For gluing the marker into the left hand of this figure we must drill a hole. Unfortunately the size of that hole isn't mentioned, so we'll have to compare the diameter of the marker stem to the drill bit we should use. Parts of the gun strap must be scratch built. The same goes for this figure, but here we'll also have to take care of his right hand. For those who don't add straps, this is an easy task. For those who do, it can be some tedious work. Much more light than shadow in this set. I reviewed figure sets with more issues and actually I found what I expected. This is my third ICM figure kit and I like the amount of details on the first two. This is no different. Of all newer figure sets I purchased, I like the faces ICM do the best. Since there were only tiniest fit issues on the other two, I hope the same for this set. I can't tell you before I build the figures, so you have to wait for my conclusion.